I'm Robert Shelide, Chief of Police for Shelby Township, and welcome to Straight Talk. Today our special guest is Deputy Chief Jason Schmiller. Deputy Chief, welcome.
Thank you, Chief.
Today we're going to discuss our flock camera system. Okay, so back several years ago, you approached me and you told me about it. I had never heard about it, okay? So take it over.
We sat in a meeting with the representative from Flock. They presented their product. It was a license plate reader. It was just coming to Michigan. I went out of state for some trainings. I started to hear about it. Fellow commanders from other states were behind me in these classes. They were talking about it and what great success they had with it. So I knew a little bit about it when they came knocking on our door, but it wasn't here in Michigan yet.
Yeah, and then you told me specifically that when it started popping up, I think Warren was one of the first ones that had it. Does that sound right?
I think Chesterfield had the first camera in the area, but yes, Warren did jump in rather quickly.
I told you, I'm intrigued. Let's do something. And then you came back and said, we're not ready yet. I'm getting mixed reviews. Do you remember that vaguely or no?
Right. Our conversation at the end of the day was, you know what, we are very interested. We're detectives at heart. Our whole background is detectives. And we knew that this would be a good product to solve crime, but there was some bugs to work out with it, and we weren't going to be the first.
Yeah. So sometime in late 22, you came to me and said, it's ready to go. Let's do it. So we start putting our plan in place, and then we had the board meeting, the special board meeting with our board. And do you recall that at all, how that went?
I do. You had me work the work session. I also went to the board meeting. I was able to present it to the board members, and we gained their full support. It was unanimous. They were behind us on this.
Yep. We started out with 30 cameras in 2024. Where are we at now?
50.
Yep, 50 cameras. So for our size, 36 square miles, where do you think we stand amongst the state with cameras?
We're right up there at the top. We have the most, I would say, in Macomb County. But the great thing here is we can also share the information from the cameras with other departments, with other agencies, not only here in Michigan, but throughout the country.
Yeah. The information that is provided to our officers and detectives is incredible. Like I couldn't imagine when I worked the street of having a tool like this. Do you feel the same way?
Early on, we both had it on our phones. And with this system, you receive alerts. So we would, I remember this quite clearly. We go crazy. We'd be sitting in the office seeing a stolen car go through an intersection or a wanted person showing up, or we were getting all these hits from the area. And what do? We took it off our phones rather quickly because we're in the office and the guys on the road need to address these things. And I don't think our officers fully understood right from the bat what a great tool this was. They certainly do now because you know what? It solves crimes and it gets the bad actors off the street.
Now, what impressed me the most about this, or I shouldn't say the most, but very much impressed me, was I thought this was going to be a tool specifically for our detectives to go back, help solve crime, identify vehicles, etc. Right? So I think it was a car almost hit Gabe Bassetti over at Utica High when he was directing traffic, and within minutes, whoever the road officer was, already identified the car right from their phone, a street officer. And it turned out that our young go-getters were doing this all the time. I didn't know that. They're using the stuff as much as our detectives are.
Oh, I knew it. And initially they had dispatch doing a lot of the searches for them on the cases that they were working. Then they became more comfortable. And you know what? Our dispatchers don't need to do it. It's too overwhelming. They have too many other things to do in the room. Our officers became very comfortable very quickly doing it, and they're really good at it.
Yeah,
we were on that doorstep within a half hour making contact with the guy who almost hit our officer.
I remember that, and we got a warrant on and arrested him.
We did.
But that's just one of the countless success stories from this system.
Chief, we used it every day. I was on the phone with other agencies this morning. We had a car stolen overnight. So did the other departments in the area, and we've already recovered that car down in the city, along with the other detectives when they're working that case forward, identifying the suspects and so forth. So we use it every single day.
Now, we're going to talk about this later in the show, but our board was very apprehensive about the flock system. Do you recall that?
Well, the concerns are always with privacy.
Yeah.
Big brother watching over and so forth. This system's not set up that way. This system, you need a bona fide reason to be able to run something in flock. So I just can't search out a vehicle and throw in a plate for no reason. We have to link it to our case numbers. We have a policy in place. There's audit systems. There's layers upon layers of checks and balances with this so it doesn't get abused. We do it with all our other systems like lien and so forth.
I agree. I look back and I see the cases that we've solved, and it's amazing what they're doing, the technology. It's absolutely amazing. I know that their technology is improving infinitely, if that makes any sense. Who knows where we're going to be in 5 and 10 years? It's
Right.
amazing.
We're able to do some very specific searches with this equipment. The quality, the photos of the license plates are extraordinary.
Yeah.
And it was here in Michigan. We didn't know how long those batteries would last, and we haven't had any issues. And Flock is taking care of us very well. When I presented this to the board, I told them it was a game changer, and we didn't let them down. It totally is a game changer.
Yeah, I agree. So what we did is actually I got pushed by our great producer, Stacy Bell. She wanted to go on a ride along with one of our young officers. So here's Officer Jeremy Herman, and he's going to explain his vantage point with the Flock system as a road officer.
I've been with the Shelby Township Police Department for about 5.5 years. I've been a patrol officer, I'm an evidence tech, a field training officer, and I'm on the crisis negotiation team. Yeah, we have cameras set up all throughout the township. What they basically do is they'll read license plates as they go by on vehicles. If, say, a vehicle is wanted for committing a crime or is a stolen vehicle or is involved in any other criminal matter, when they pass through a Flock system, we'll get a hit and it'll alert us on our computer with a loud pinging noise. And it'll notify us where the vehicle hit at, what the location is, and what direction it's traveling. So it's an important tool that allows us to kind of respond to something like that and set up a game plan and try to go stop that vehicle and do whatever necessary action is needed. So I use it to track wanted vehicles that are involved in criminal matters, any suspicious vehicles that maybe are involved in drug activity or anything like that. It kind of helps us to keep track of the vehicle, see their direction of travel, kind of what their patterns are, and it allows us to be able to kind of helps us along with our investigation. There's cameras set up all throughout Macomb County, all throughout the state. So if we have a vehicle that comes here, commits a crime, and is hitting in another jurisdiction, it allows us to kind of contact them, give them the information, have them look out for the vehicle that can lead to arrest and vice versa. If someone goes and commits a crime somewhere else and they're driving around Shelby Township, it allows us to then try to make contact with that vehicle and take whatever necessary action is needed. Another thing that I utilize it for, and a lot of other guys utilize it for, is say we have a missing person or a suicidal person that left a residence in a vehicle. So we've used Flock system to kind of track that vehicle, and it's resulted in us finding people that were suicidal or missing, and we're able to make contact with them, get them returned home safely, or get them to the hospital so that they could receive the treatment that they needed.
So you've seen Officer Jeremy Herman in action. He's one of our outstanding young officers. I'm sure you've seen him before. He's been a frequent flyer on the program. And let's transition to Detective Thomas Verdura. What do you know about this guy?
He's a young stud. He works very hard. We're blessed to have him back in our DB, and we're a much better investigation because he's back there.
Yeah, I never wanted him to go back there, for the record. Do you remember that or not?
I remember.
I wanted him on the road. I just thought he was too young, and boy, he's proved me wrong. So first time I heard about a case that he did, there was a gang out of Texas, a legal gang, illegal aliens in our country illegally, and they were up here ripping off ATM machines. And they were going, you can trace their path through Texas, Arkansas, Missouri, all the way up here, and they were creating a trail of crime all the way through, right? Tommy Verdura gets the case. They try to steal one of our ATMs, or did steal it.
It was over at 23 in Hayes, and he was able to identify the group. They used a stolen car that they ditched about a mile down the road, and everything goes back to sharing of the information. Back in the day, and Chief, we go back over 30 years, detectives didn't share information back then. They share everything now.
Yeah.
And so do the departments, and we're much better for it. Everything's a team. And he was able to get that footprint from that organization doing the crimes throughout the country and trace it right back to our town, and then right back down south where they were able to make an apprehension.
Yeah, using Flock, using the camera system.
Absolutely.
But he solved crime of a gang, an interstate gang, and our little Shelby Township Police Department, which Thomas Verdura leading the way, solved that crime, correct?
That's
and got
correct.
these guys charged. It was incredible. So the next case I noticed is we had a residence man and wife, 82 years old. They got scammed out of $50,000 in cash. And what happened is they got an email from this student who's in our country legally, but from India. He's a student at University of Toledo. And what happens is he sends them something threatening them that if they don't give him $50,000 in cash, that they're going to go to jail or whatever. And unfortunately, they fell for it. They went and withdrew $50,000 in cash. He sends the money with, he walks out, gives them money, they drive off. Well, Tom had a description of the car, but when he checked our flat camera system, it came up nil. He couldn't figure it out, okay? So then he kept digging, and he was looking around, and I think he found, through Sterling Heights camera, and identified a car that he thought was involved in the crime. So he starts serving search warrants on Enterprise Rent-A-Car, T-Mobile, Google, and one more. And he got his man down in Toledo, identified him, called the FBI. The FBI says, yeah, we're looking at him. He's doing a bunch of frauds down here. And the nerve of this guy, I mean, he's in our country on a visa as a privilege to be here, and what is he doing, ripping off our elderly? So we use that as a top priority. Take it over from there.
Without this system, there would have been so many more hours involved in this case, and we were able to come to somewhat of a quick closure on it and at least safeguard some of their cash.
Absolutely.
And hold them accountable for it. And again, he was out of state, and that's what's happening now. We have these groups that are pilfering and traveling around the country doing this. It's common now. They do it with the retail frauds. Now we're changing the way we work and just stay on top of things.
Yep, the FBI is taking that case over. He's being charged federally, and he's going to go to prison for a long time. So the last case, and this one was truly extraordinary because it involved our big brother, Sterling Heights, twice our size, and we have a great relationship with those guys. So they put an alert out that one of the ATMs was tampered with. They have a description of the vehicle and the suspects. They looked like they're a South American gang against. And little Shelby Township Police Department, old Tom Verdura is sitting at his desk, and what does he do? Take it over.
Chief, I received the same alert. I received the bulletin from Sterling Heights. I read it. I received the same information. So very quickly, he was able to search for that vehicle, and he had that vehicle identified quickly.
Yeah.
He didn't have a plate at the time. He was able to snowball that, put the case together, figure out where that vehicle was at that time, and he put a whole crew of detectives on it, not only from Sterling Heights, but from Troy and our Special Investigation Unit. They didn't just take him into custody and hope to sort things out. They actually stayed on that car, and when they stayed on that car, they went within a short time, couple hours, and tried to do another ATM break into down off of Van Dyke south of 18 Mile. So once they were able to catch them in the act, there was at least 3 cars involved. Those cars were quickly stopped by everybody. There was a foot chase with Detective Hanser, and we took at least 5 into custody.
Yeah. In all 3 cases, not one, these suspects, these gangs of criminals, were United States citizens, not one. The only one that was in the country legally was the one that was on a student visa ripping off the elderly. So this whole thing of them letting all these criminals pour into our country, it makes me sick as a law enforcement professional. I just want to get that out there. So
without Detective Verdura sitting at his desk and taking the opportunity to spend a few minutes in that system, that's what solved that case.
Yeah, I agree. So we called Flock and we said we want to do something special. They flew in from Texas. They brought their VP in, and we had a great ceremony for Tommy and his family. He had his mom and dad there and his wife. What'd you think of that?
Yeah, it was a great day. Cranks catered it. We had a good time. We celebrated with his family and his wife. His fellow detectives were there. They were all there, and so were his friends from the shifts.
Yeah.
And that goes a long way. That tells you really how special he is.
I agree. And Flock picked up the bill for everything, by the way, and the catering. So
yes. Let's
take a look at the special ceremony we had for Detective Thomas Verdura, hosted and sponsored by Flock Safety Systems.
Detective Thomas Verdura was recently recognized by Flock Safety for his exceptional detective skills.
Just want to say thank you to you guys and obviously the Township Board for giving us these tools to succeed. And also all my coworkers, which you can see are all matching. We bounce ideas off of each other nonstop, constantly in my sergeant's office, probably maybe annoying him a little bit with questions or, hey, what do you think about this? And it's just a team environment. We have a great group back there, and it helps us all solve cases.
Matt Wayne, Regional Sales Director with Flock, talks about this advanced technology.
Flock Safety provides what we call a public safety operating system that is really backboned by our license plate recognition cameras that takes photographs of vehicles as they pass on public roadways and allows law enforcement to be able to gather as much evidence as possible to be able to protect and serve the community.
Flock's automatic license plate recognition cameras have begged questions about privacy.
So some may ask questions about privacy. We always make sure that whenever a community introduces something like Flock Safety, we introduce it to a city council or a township board to address any questions or concerns. We have a lot of checks and balances within the solution to make sure that privacy is of paramount importance, but still give law enforcement a tool that's going to allow them to be as effective as possible. We also leverage law enforcement agencies to have a strong LPR policy in place to ensure that all individuals within their organization are using the technology properly.
And the Shelby Township Police Department are using this technology to apprehend seasoned criminals. Detective Verdura's use of the Flock system has made an impact on multiple communities nationwide.
Tommy Verdura is a detective that is going to take a case and he's going to run with it, and he's going to find any potential lead that will give him good probable cause to arrest someone on a case.
What I see is a motivated detective who sees his job as not only enforcing the law, but getting hardcore criminals off the street. And I think when you look at some of the cases that he's been involved in, you cannot say he's not one of the best cops we have in the department. He drives hard, is tireless, not only understands the threat to Shelby Township, but even other communities, because he knows that even if it happens in an adjoining community, they'll be here next.
Tommy's awesome. I consider him one of my good friends, not just a coworker. Like you said, we always bounce ideas off of each other, and sometimes he has a different opinion on something than I do, and it's something I haven't thought about, and it gives me a little bit of direction for hey, we should check that out, and vice versa. So he's a great coworker, always down to help out, and he's good to have in the Detective Bureau.
What I love about being a detective is helping the citizens of Shelby Township. Being able to think outside the box and use critical thinking in order to help these people and, take bad guys to jail. Oh, yeah, that's not how it's going to work. You got to come with us.
Detective Verdura is not only an asset to our department, but to neighboring local, state, and federal agencies across the country. And because of his exceptional work ethic, Detective Verdura was also presented with the Chief's Award.
We're really grateful for the partnership with our law enforcement agencies such as Shelby Township and hearing the great work that Detective Verdura is doing. Even if we can play a small part with our organization to give law enforcement tools to be able to protect our citizens, it's a really great accomplishment for us to be able to share a part of with Detective Verdura.
I don't know what to feel about receiving this award. Obviously, it's an honor and it's very humbling. I don't do this for awards or, recognition. I do it to help the citizens.
So you've seen some footage of our ceremony we had for Detective Verdura, and I have to say, as I've been the chief of police here for 10.5 years, that was truly one of my favorite days and events since I've been here. I just thought it was a great day for the detective, for all his co-workers, for our department. You agree with that?
Yeah, I'm proud of his work, and I'm proud of the way we celebrated with him. So
we were talking off camera, and you mentioned that subdivisions, apartment buildings, businesses, what can they do with Flock camera system?
Okay, so Flock's available, the license plate readers, not only for law enforcement, which we purchase, but also there's a private sector branch of it. So what we do is we offer it for the homeowner associations. We can link them up with Flock, and what they do is they can put cameras at the entrance to their apartments, mobile home parks, their subdivisions. Private business can put them in their lots. They also have the option of sharing the information with us. And the only thing we use it for is our bona fide police law enforcement reasons. So.
Okay, walk our residents through how this would help, let's say a subdivision. How would those cameras help a specific private subdivision that went and paid for it? Give me an example.
So a car was stolen last night in one of the apartment complexes. we would be able to track any car that entered or left during that time.
Perfect.
And we would
Yep.
be able to scale down, not for the residents who lived there, but for the outsiders who came in and committed a crime.
Yep. Okay, so what you're saying is the homeowners association knows a car got stolen. We know that they have cameras. We would contact their administrator, obviously give us permission. We go in, look at it, solve our crime, and be done, right?
Correct.
Okay. I talked to the VP, Matt Wayne, about this, and Matt said that they're under a lot of pressure nationwide from being attacked. What do you think about this, and what is your take on this?
I don't think they really understand what the system does and how we use it. I think it's a misconception how we use it. We have strict rules in place. We have strict policy in place for everything that we do, and we have to follow it. If we don't, we no longer work here. And for the officers, for the detectives, everybody who uses this system, this is no different. It's an extra set on the eyes. If I stood on that corner or stood on that street and watched all the cars go by, I can capture the same information.
Yeah.
This just speeds things up for us.
Yeah, I agree. So going back to the privacy thing, are we taking pictures of people driving the car, like when they're going through a toll booth?
No, sir. It's just the back. It's the rear of the vehicle, and what you can see is the license plate. That's it.
Yeah, the public license plate that is on the street.
That anybody can see if they were just standing out on the street.
Okay, all right. So what I think is one of our better shows, information for our residents, the flock camera system. We do have 50 cameras that are out here, and they're here for the safety of our residents and to help apprehend criminals that violate our residents and business owners. You've been watching Straight Talk. We'll see you next month.